You're listening to Women's Cricket Chat with
Hannah
and Alex. Coming up on today's podcast, we've got Southeast Stars and England international Sophia Dunkley. Now, Sophia is 22 years of age and she's achieved so much so far in her career, and she's only just getting started. Sophia talked to Hannah and I about all things Southeast Stars, making her debut in the 2018 T20 World Cup, and also how it feels to be at Surrey now with the one and only legendary Ebony Rainford Brent.
Hiya.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thank you. Yeah, shattered, but it's good. But yeah, how's things?
Yes, very good, thank you, very good. It's nice to start playing again now, because we weren't able to play any county cricket, which was a bit frustrating, but we've started to have a few games, which is, I think, when you're training, you see people playing, you get a bit agitated, so now we can start. It's really good, and then hopefully it could be build into a good summer. So
yeah, I guess that's the first question. How is camp going at the moment? Because you've been up in Loughborough training now for, what's it been, about 6 weeks?
Yeah, it's been 6 weeks now. But yeah, no, it's been really fun, actually. I think it's not often you get a big period of time to kind of just train, and with games not really coming thick and fast, you can just work on stuff outdoors and there's not really pressure to be ready almost. So that's been quite nice. And then we had a game last week, kind of academy versus England game, and then we had one yesterday which was unfortunately rained off. But yeah, no, it was good. It's been good fun, and we've kind of done a little bit team bonding through kind of fitness and stuff and just working together, which has been fun. A few good fitness circuits which have been good. And so yeah, I think everyone's ready to go and get playing now, but it's just been good to be with the team, really.
You study at Loughborough then?
Sports science management, classic.
Of course, I know sports science.
Definitely. But to be fair, when I came to Loughborough, I was really just here for the cricket, to be honest. I was I'm just going to come play more cricket. But then I think in my third and fourth year, I got into my degree a bit more, and I was right, it's actually really good to get a degree, so let's just do it properly and not waste the last 4 years. So then I did get into it quite a bit. I got 2-1, so I was pretty happy with the amount of time I was away as well. Don't know how I managed that, but there we are. Happy days.
So where in Lambeth did you grow up then?
I was in Brixton, I think Mum lived when I was younger. But then she moved to North London when I was about, 6, 7, 8. But yeah, it's funny, my mum always says that because I was actually born in Surrey. She's like, oh, it's quite funny now that you play for Surrey. I was like, yeah, it's funny. Right. A bit controversial. Lambeth place to be.
You did have quite a bit of fun in New Zealand as well, didn't you? So you've had a good time, I guess, over there as well without all the rules and stuff. So it must have been pretty weird coming back into being in bubbles and the whole COVID situ.
Yeah, no, it was obviously amazing to have that freedom and experience New Zealand in its normal self, which is obviously kind of weird at the start. We did 2 weeks quarantine, which was really obviously restricted. And the only place outside we could go to was a little garden, which was fenced off and stuff. And then to just go into normal life after being in lockdown for, 9 months was crazy. And it was kind of almost felt a little bit guilty at the start, because we're getting to experience this and everyone's at home. But then you just quickly get back into normal life. It just didn't feel really different really for a while. And I think it was really nice to just enjoy everyone's company. So going out for a coffee or, going and doing something fun on a day off, you'd really just enjoy it and just put your phone down and just take it all in, which is really nice. And I think we created a lot of nice memories there, which is fun. And then obviously coming back was pretty weird to kind of quarantine our house for a bit and then get used to the UK again. But it's nice to see your family and stuff, but definitely made a lot of nice memories.
And obviously this season has started a lot differently to last season. How difficult was it to prepare for the 2020 season with coronavirus running rife and rapid?
Well, it's obviously a bit weird because it was quite late on. So obviously you start in, April, May. And then we got to didn't start really playing until June, July, really. And I just remember the first few weeks, we literally went into camp in Loughborough in 4s, and it just trained in a 4, didn't see many people, couldn't really cross over. So it was a bit, and it was kind of getting back into it, getting back used to things. And yeah, it was weird, but I think for me, it was quite good because I was kind of out of the squad at that point. So it gave me a chance to go back into the games and just think I've got nothing to lose. I wasn't in the squad, so I could just, just go out with no fear. And that kind of helped me really to get back into the squad, just to have that mindset. But yeah, I think it was, quite a different experience for everyone. But I think quite a cool experience to to experience the bubble and just to see what it's about. And it's like definitely something I'm going to tell the grandkids when I'm older, that I couldn't leave a cricket ground for a while.
So playing for the South East Stars, obviously you top scored for the side, scoring, was it 97? Was it not out?
Yeah, unfortunately.
So obviously you were enjoying it, and, you know, how did you find the team completely brand new and finding your form there?
Yeah, I think it was good. I think obviously it was a bit rushed last year. We didn't have too much time to prepare as a team, and like I was with England for the kind of first bubble, so I couldn't really see them that much. But I think a lot of the girls obviously know each other already from Surrey and Kent and kind of KSL, and the coaches are fairly familiar, which is really nice. And I think, yeah, everyone's kind of got on well and gelled really well. And I think because of the situation, you kind of maybe bond quicker because everyone's in a kind of different, unusual place. So, you know, you just kind of muddle together and get through it. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to starting the competition this year with them. I think they've had a really good training block and it's going really well. And I've dipped in every now and then to go to the gym and to pop in and say hi. And it's been really nice just to see everyone and welcome back really nicely. So I think it'll be a lot of fun, and yeah, not a lot too long till we start, which is exciting.
And you talked about the team bonding, because obviously last year you were a new team thrown together at the last second. Who are the players that we should be looking out for and the ones that are stepping up in training?
Oh, that's a great question. I actually think our team's actually we've got a very strong team, but it's also very young as well. And I think we've got quite a bit of experience, but also some really good young players coming through. I think people like Alice Capsey have done really well for us in the past, and she's been really reliable with the ball and obviously bats in the top four as well. So I think she'll be really key for us going into season, and someone I'm sure Tash will look to bowl a few overs and always seems to get a wicket really in her first over, which is great. So yeah, I think she's going to be a really good player for us. And obviously we've got a few experienced players kind of like Bryony and ADR who've obviously been in and around the England team, but obviously really, really good players. And I think like the regional competition of stars is going to be great for them to go out and yeah, just like hopefully go out and dominate it for us. And I think they've both loved their time there this winter, which will be, so look forward to watching them score a few runs this season and yeah, get the Stars a few wins. And yeah, and also players like Eva Gray, who's played for Surrey in the KSL, who I've played with for quite a few seasons. I think again, I think it'll be such a good opportunity for her to show what she can do and contribute to a few wins in the team, which yeah, looking forward to seeing that too.
And you already touched on it there, but how important are those kind of England experienced players for you? So the ones that will come in like yourself, but also the players who have got caps, and how can they use that experience to benefit the whole team?
It will be really good just to, I think obviously with the hey-ho Flint being a new competition and regional being new, probably a lot of the girls aren't as used to training full time and having that much of a big commitment, and obviously kind of certain pressures come with that, so the pressures of playing games in big competitions and having a lot more media coverage and stuff like that. So just to be able to chat to people and share experiences and kind of lead by example, I think will be really important. And yeah, just show, I guess, that we're all human, everyone makes mistakes sometimes, so it's not the end of the world if it goes wrong, which I think is massive. But I think, yeah, just to being able to have those leadership roles and to be at the top of the team is really good, yeah, to kind of almost make it a comfort zone for the younger players to just go and enjoy themselves and not to fear kind of messing up or doing wrong, but almost just, yeah, embrace it. And
you just mentioned there as well about increased media coverage. So we've got this really exciting partnership with the Cricketer, and hopefully are going to be doing loads alongside them to try and boost the profile of Rachel Hayhoe Flint Trophy competition. But one thing that I'm struggling with at the moment is being more critical, because I love all the kind of the human pieces, that, you know, who you are as people and that kind of stuff. And I'm trying to get myself up ready to be a little bit more critical and being able to critique performances. So how do you deal with that as a player? Does it affect you when you go into performances? Do you read much media coverage? And off the back of that as well, how do you want to be represented?
Yeah, I was going to say, also congratulations to you guys. It's amazing to get that with the Cricketer, and it's just really nice to see women's cricket be recognised. And I think the podcasts that you've done so far have been amazing, just to kind of like spread the message of women's cricket. So yeah, that's a great step in the right direction. I hope you guys enjoy it this summer, getting involved. But yeah, I know, I think that kind of side of the game is always going to be tricky for some people, and it's, you know, like you come off a game sometimes and you're straight on your phone, because if you do well, you know, people message you, it might go on Twitter, or you have your family messaging you and stuff, and it kind of gets into a little bit of a habit. But I think you just almost have to kind of take it with a pinch of salt, because sometimes people who tweet and are in the media, they don't always see the kind of the context of the game and what's going on in the game, how you're feeling mentally, how the team is feeling mentally. So sometimes not the full story is kind of broadcasted, so it's hard to almost take the judgment. I think when you're in a bad place, almost it's hard to remember that it's just your game and it's your journey. But I think for me, I'm just trying to focus on myself and kind of my journey in cricket, and yeah, it's probably easier said than done. But yeah, I think you just got to try and take it with a pinch of salt and just remember that they can't know everything about the game and they can't know everything about the situation. So you just got to trust yourself and trust what you think at the same time.
That's one thing that I'm really kind of struggling with, because I'm like, oh, I've only got like a level 1 coaching qualification, so who am I to be able to critique your performances? Like, I don't know, so I'm very consciously trying to stay away from being too critical and allow other voices to do that, because obviously it's so needed in the women's game. Like, we want that to be able to progress it and get cricket fans involved and, you know, actively analysing performances. But I also do worry on your side of it as a player, how that really does affect you in that moment, because there's a lot of thinking time, isn't there, the minute you do pick up your phone?
Yeah, no, I know, I completely see your point, and I'd probably be doing the same. But I think, like, as well, like, if trusting your instincts about what you think, and I feel like everyone's entitled to their opinion. You know, everyone sees the game differently and sees performances differently, and everyone's entitled to comment how they see fit. So I think, yeah, and just remembering that as well, everyone's got a different outlook, and some people might kind of feel a bit negatively affected from it, but I think it is kind of part and parcel of the game, because playing a sport and playing internationally as well, it just kind of is part and parcel of that, and dealing with it is something that you kind of learn to do, and not everyone perfects it, but I think it makes you stronger at the end of the day, and yeah, I think obviously definitely people are learning to deal with it a lot better. But yeah, I think everyone's entitled to their own opinion, and I'm probably going to play 1,000 bad shots in my career, and probably thousands of people are going to say, oh, what should you do that for? But as long as I trust myself, hopefully I won't feel too bad about it.
And then I guess on the flip side as well, it's like when you're in absolute unreal form and all you're getting is positive press, it's like trying to contain that ego as well, to not get too ahead of yourself and enjoy the moment rather than getting too hyped up, I guess. But how do you want to be represented this summer as well? Like, what would you like to see from us with the podcast and wider media as well? What would you be calling for?
I think, you know, it's just, there's so much opportunity this summer for the women's game with, you know, the international series, the 100 and the hey-ho, and it's just recognising like the talent that's out there, I guess, and really just promoting that and showing people that have doubts about the women's game that we can play, and that there are some really good players out there. You know, even if scores, you know, people kind of comment on scores in the past, oh, that's really low score, this bowler's really slow, but actually like that works in women's cricket, and that's what's successful. And it's not just about quick bowling or how far you can hit the ball, but it's about all the different strengths and different aspects that people have to contribute to performances and doing well. So I think, yeah, this podcast is going to be a really good tool just to spread positivity about the women's game and just show that everyone has different strengths. And yeah, it's just about celebrating all the successes, I guess, and all the individuals that play.
With regards to your playing career, you've achieved so much at such a young age, being only 22. Have you ever dealt with imposter syndrome? And if so, how do you deal with it?
Yeah, I do think, I suppose when you have successes, you get a lot of Twitter and social media and messages, like I said before. And it even can be like, oh, like I got, a 50 in like div, I don't know, whatever cricket, and not playing a very strong side. And everyone's like, oh my God, Sophia Dunkley did this weekend. Like, oh, well, you know, it probably wasn't that good, but like everyone's, and I know exactly what you mean. I think part of me that I found quite difficult was not during the World Cup, but when I made my debut in the World Cup, and obviously that's a massive occasion, and I was, you know, absolutely over the moon that happened, and you get a lot of positive messages and stuff at the World Cup, and that was my first experience of international cricket, which is kind of like quite high up to go into it as your first competition, and that almost kind of sets your standard, and you think, oh God, like, you know, I played every game at the World Cup, like, you know, and this is it. And then next tour I go from that to like not playing, not starting in the team. I think Sarah and Catherine came back in, and it's like, oh, like, no, you're not playing this game today. And it's like, oh God, like what's happened in that time? And I didn't really gauge the importance of it, or, you know, kind of like how it set in my mind was what I don't know, it was a bit different to what I thought about it. I think I struggled with that at the start because it was just going from like all to nothing very quickly. But yeah, I've kind of learned just to be as level as I can with it all, and not get too carried away if I do well, but also not let it hit me too much if I do quite badly. Easier said than done. But I think, yeah, and I'm trying to learn off like, the players around me, like, I don't know, Heather and Nat and people like that, and see how they go about it when things like that happen to them, and from what I can tell is they stay very level, which really helps them.
Just touching on you talking about your debut, I believe in 2018 you made your England debut in the T20 World Cup against Bangladesh. What was it like to make your debut, and in a place like the West Indies where they are quite cricket mad?
Yeah, it was pretty amazing, really. I think actually getting onto the World Cup squad, I was not expecting it at all, so that was a bit of a shock. But I think the whirlwind of it and the shock of it didn't hit me at the time. Like, I didn't even allow myself to get nervous or take in the emotions of it, because I was like, right, I just need to go and play. Like, think about it too much, I'm going to be all over the place. Just kind of went and did it. But like the feeling of the crowd and being part of the team, and kind of my mum was there when I made my debut and saw me get my cap, which was really nice. And the whole thing was just an incredible experience. And I think only looking back do I realise how amazing it actually was. And yeah, like, it kind of gives me goosebumps still thinking about it. And I think when I actually batted in my first game, which wasn't till I think 2 or 3 games after, the noise is something that I'd like never heard before. It's just like, so it's like the first few balls I played and missed that, and the crowd just like screeching, like I could barely like think and hear myself speak, and it's just like getting used to something like that was yeah, it was crazy but incredible at the same time.
And talking about your batting, so you did put on a record-breaking 7th wicket stand in, I think it was against West Indies in St. Lucia. So can you remember what that was like? I remember seeing it on Twitter at the time, I think it was, or like the live match updates and following along, because obviously time difference. And it was so good to like hear and see that news coverage post of, you steadying that ship and trying to build an innings after what was a disappointing start from the top order.
Yeah, I think because it was the kind of third game I played and I hadn't batted before, the anticipation to go into bat was a bit like, I was like, it was building up and just wanted to go in. And I was quite nervous. And I think the ball that I went to, Trev got hit on the pad and they reviewed it. So I like shot up and I was like, oh, I'm in. And they're like, oh, wait for the review. And I was like, oh, and everyone's like, it's fine, like, just relax, like, it's fine. And I think I went in against Dottin, who was bowling really well. Played it, missed in a few, like edged a couple, and I was like, right, so it's like 7 balls in, probably about 1 run. I just said to myself, I just remember I was like, right, like, this is it, like, this is no messing around. Let's just like, I was just like, right, I'm just gonna run at her next ball, and I just ran at her, hit it through extra cover for 4. I was like, right, like, this is it, like, I feel fine now, like, got myself away. And then I kind of just tried to stick to what I knew and my strength. I just tried not to play any different and just bat how I wanted to bat and what had got me in the team. And somehow within me, like, I found the strength to just keep going and started to hit a few boundaries, started to run well between the wickets, and it just kind of got me going. But I think, yeah, definitely after the initial few balls where I was kind of like a sitting duck almost, it just took something in me to go, right, like, mum was watching, my friends were watching, like, let's show them what you can do. And yeah, and I think I just got going from that. And batting with Anya for quite a while as well really helped me, because she was so calm, obviously very experienced, being in that situation loads of times. It was a very good help for me. And yeah, like, we did lose the game, unfortunately, because West Indies came out and did really well. But it's just great to have that experience and to show myself really that I could bat at an international level.
Yeah, and you certainly did do that, didn't you? So with that tournament as well, how did you find it overall? Because I appreciate it didn't go to plan, but at the same time, you're still runners-up.
Yeah, it's a weird one, because you kind of, obviously you go and you want to win and you want to be the top. So it's kind of like you get to the final and you think you don't win. It wasn't the best performance, like a bit deflated. But looking back, I think, I went to my first World Cup, got to World Cup final, played in a World Cup final, and that in itself is an amazing achievement and something that I should really treasure for the rest of my life. I don't know if I'll ever play in a World Cup again. I don't know what I'll do in the rest of my career, but no one, I guess, will ever be able to take that away from me. And to look at it, something like that, and hopefully it's just a stepping stone in my career and something that will help me in the future. But yeah, I think just really, treasuring those memories and things that happened off the pitch, on the pitch, playing with the team, some of the people that I played in the team were the people that I looked up to, when I was 13, 14, 15. So that in itself is, for me, is really special. But yeah, I know you can get really fixated on outcomes. Obviously, being a sports person, you really want to win and you want that competitive side, and it always takes over. But yeah, I think memories are something that are really special, and not everyone is able to do that and play in the World Cup. So yeah, it's something that I do. I'm proud of myself that I'm able to get there and yeah, make sure I really look after those memories.
That's so good to hear, because I've heard players talk about, even in like the KSL, when Lightning come runners up to, I think it was yourself at the time, wasn't it, Surrey Stars, and players would say, oh, I'm going to chuck the medal in the bin, and I was like, what? And in the heat of the moment, because they're like, second place isn't good enough, it's first loser. And I think in that moment you get super competitive, but it's important to take a step back and be like, I made it to a World Cup final. So, like, it didn't pull off, but second in the world is still an amazing achievement.
Yeah, no, completely. And I think, yeah, at the time it's so hard to take, and it is very emotional because you work really hard to get to somewhere and you don't quite make it. So it makes it really hard. But yeah, I definitely think just, cricket especially, there's so many failures in cricket. Like, batting is just, it's such a hard thing to do, bowling. There's so many things that can go wrong in cricket that I've almost in the last couple of years learned to take the little wins and just like celebrate the small successes, because they don't come around very often. And so when they do, you just got to kind of enjoy them and hopefully move forward with that. And obviously, this summer's a busy summer for English cricket. The World Cup coming out next year, there's Ashes, there's Commonwealth Games, and there's so many opportunities for our team to try and bring home some trophies, and hopefully that experience in the World Cup will contribute towards that. And obviously I wasn't there, but in Australia, another really frustrating experience, not being able to play in the game that got rained off, which is obviously horrible for the girls to have the kind of trophy taken out of their hands in that way. But hopefully the experience are going to contribute to hopefully some wins in the future and some great successes, which will probably be even sweeter for that. But yeah, and it'll be exciting to see what happens, but definitely take the little wins when you can.
Just taking it back to the beginning of your career, you made your Middlesex debut in 2012, which would have made you, I believe, 14?
14, yeah, 14.
God, what was it like to make your debut so young?
To be honest, it's a bit fuzzy in my memory, if I'm being quite honest. But I think I just remember being scared, like really scared, because I've played a lot of like under 11 cricket, under 13 cricket, under 14 cricket, but like I hadn't played much senior cricket. And at the time I had Beth Morgan in our team, obviously played for England for quite a while, I think we're playing against, I can't remember if it was in T20s, but I'm sure it was either against Kent or Sussex. So obviously had so many England players like Charlotte Edwards, Laura Marsh, Lydia Greenway, and I was like, oh my God, like I'm playing against like all these players. I'm like, oh God, like I'm so young, I don't know what I'm doing. And I just remember like going into bat and I was so nervous, I could barely even watch the ball properly and stuff. I kind of just enjoyed being there and being around people. Obviously I was really, really nervous, but yeah, I just went and Mum was in the car, like, just try and enjoy it. Like, it doesn't matter if it goes wrong, like you're only young, they understand that, get the classic mum chat. But yeah, I don't know, I just try to like kind of almost survive, I guess. And I think for me, I don't know why, but I was just really scared to field, because like I just don't want it to go through my legs, like that's all I was thinking, like don't let the ball go through my legs. It's really embarrassing. But yeah, I just tried to give it a good go. I don't think I did very well, but I gave it my best shot.
And how big of a step up is it from the under 11, under 12, etc. level to the senior level?
A big part of it as well is going from like, when you're that age and you're like kind of at the top end of like your team in like under 11s and under 13s, whatever. And I think I was like captain of an under 15s, and you've got quite a big role in that team. And then going into a senior team where you're like batting 7 or 8 and you're quite low down, not the pecking order, but you know what I mean? Like you're kind of a lot lower down, you don't have as big a role. It's kind of like how you kind of fulfill that. And you just want to do as best you can for the team, I guess. And it's more about not wanting to let the team down and trying to do your best. I just kind of forgot about my performance. I just want to make sure we win, and don't want to mess it up. But yeah, I think obviously the girls are hitting it a bit harder, they're bowling a bit quicker, obviously got a lot more knowledge to know how to get you out a bit better. So yeah, I think the more you play, the more you get used to it. But yeah, it was a little bit scary, I can't lie.
And as Alex has spoken about there, how important was county cricket to you? And obviously we're not too sure what's happening next year, whether it's staying or whether that really is the end of it. So tell us a little bit more about playing for Middlesex and then obviously going across to Surrey.
Yeah, so I've playing for Middlesex pretty much since I was under 11 really, and for about, so I don't know, up to about 20, so it's a good long time. And yeah, I've had so many great experiences and opportunities through Middlesex, and literally gone through like the whole pathway. I think in under 15s we were national champions, which was a great day. Like, love that day, that was amazing. And made, I think a lot of what I love about cricket is the friendships that I make and the people that I meet. And you just meet so many different people through cricket with different backgrounds, different ages, and that's what I really love about it. And being at Middlesex, yeah, I've made probably like, some lifelong friends, and it's people you just catch up with at games every now and then, and it's just nice. It feels almost like a little family. It's like, and that's what I love about it. And yeah, obviously playing with Beth Morgan, who I played for at the time, and I think she was really big kind of idol for me, just the way she played. She's such a selfless player, obviously very talented, and she taught me a lot, coached me when I was under 13, and yeah, I really look up to her, and I'm grateful to have been able to play with her in the change room in such a kind of close proximity, which is, yeah, really nice. And then, yeah, moved to Surrey in the COVID season, which obviously we didn't play. I think at that stage of my career, I wanted to do everything I could to get back in the England team. And for me, that was just playing the highest level cricket I could and getting the coaching and the facilities that I felt I needed. And it was obviously a really tough decision because I've been there for so long, but something that I thought was right at the time. And obviously I've known quite a lot of the Surrey Stars girls and stuff who played for Surrey for a while. So yeah, and a bit controversial going to the other rival London team, but I've not actually made my debut for that yet, which all the Surrey girls make fun of me for now because they don't think I'm a real Surrey player. But hopefully one time soon, hopefully I'll make that debut.
Did Ebony have any sway in pulling you across there?
No, she didn't actually, but it was obviously, nice that she was there to be a factor in it because, yeah, I have worked her through the Stars and stuff, and she's obviously done so much just recently, setting up the ACE programme and things like that, and she's got such a positive influence on the game. So definitely, was a great feature that Surrey had.
And you just touched on the ACE programme there. For our listeners who don't know what the ACE programme is, could you briefly explain what the ACE programme is and why it was set up?
Yeah, definitely. So it's like a programme for kind of young adults, for people with kind of like African and Caribbean background, just get involved in cricket really. Obviously with things that have gone on in the past year or so, it's kind of highlighted the kind of lack of diversity, I guess, within cricket, and people and the communities wanting to change that and try and positively influence that and give these teenagers and kids the opportunity to get involved in cricket, which they might not have had. And yeah, like I just mentioned before, Ebony has had such an influential part in that, getting it set up. They're offering scholarships. It's kind of mainly run at the Oval. I think Birmingham is at the second location. And hopefully the more money is invested, the more people can get involved and the more locations it's at. But it recently just became a registered charity, which is amazing news. But I think just to get more young adults involved in cricket that may not have had the opportunity before is just amazing. And hopefully in years to come, we see that more in the international and domestic game, hopefully, which would be the main goal. And yeah, just to see like a kind of like a brand new group of cricketers with amazing talent that hopefully can filter in, which would be amazing.
It certainly would be, because one of the main things with this podcast as well is we've been trying to be like actively representative of our cricket community, and then we were looking at like people from different backgrounds, different ages, ability, and we were like, wow, cricket is so white. And we were like, how can we change this? And how like, what are those next steps to increase the level of diversity across all of the meanings of diversity, like race, religion, age, gender, everything, class?
Yeah, I know. I think it's such a hard kind of topic to think about. And I don't really know, obviously, what the answer is and why it's like that. But I think to see things like the ACE programme start to come around, see how the ECB are wanting to invest in it, to see such positive kind of things happening around it, especially on social media, is such a good step forward. And I think just to start to see change, because it's very easy just to speak about it and say, oh, well, this is wrong, we can't see this, but to actively seek out what the best thing to do is has been really positive to see. Also not being able to get too involved with the ACE programme just yet with COVID and England commitments and things like that, but even just being able to be a role model and hopefully get involved at some point and help any way I can. I'd love to be involved in positively helping change the kind of cricket community in that sense.
Yeah, it's like we need to have uncomfortable conversations, don't we, to be able to like enact this change and call out people at those higher levels of those positions of power, because otherwise things won't change. And it is on one part like a shame that Ebony and the group have had to set up the ACE programme, because you wouldn't want a world where this has to be there to make those positive changes happen. So it's kind of a double-edged sword, isn't it? Because like hopefully in 10 years' time the ACE programme won't exist because there is diversity across all the levels of sport and access to cricket is way more fairer and all that kind of stuff. So I guess what she's doing with her programme is working to its non-existence.
I definitely get what you mean, and it's just the start of hopefully something that's going to be so influential for years to come, like you say, and hopefully we see that starting to filter through in county cricket and domestic cricket and international cricket, and then like you say, hopefully it's it's not the case that it has to be set up for that to happen, but naturally it happens itself, and there is a lot more kind of diverse representation across all formats of cricket, which would be amazing. And yeah, I'll be like, when I first started playing, when I made my debut, I had an interview and they were like, oh, how does it feel to be the second black person to play cricket for England in the women's team? And until it hadn't even crossed my mind, I thought, really, like, there's only been 2 players play for England. And, hopefully in 5-10 years' time, there's like the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and it's not just me and Ebbs, but there's a long line of people as well that kind of carry it forward, which would be, it'd be really special to see.
And you mentioned the ACE programme. I read somewhere that you are an ACE ambassador. What does being an ACE ambassador mean to you? Yeah,
it's something that when Ebbs kind of asked me about, I was really proud and kind of touched that she asked me to be involved and to be an ambassador. And I think, to me, I just want to kind of spread as positive a message as I can. And if I can, help people to get involved and almost recruit people, I don't know whether it's through social media or through playing or whatever, that is kind of what I want to do, and just, spread a positive message. And I think, speaking to Ebbs about it, I think she, from her point of view, it's more about me playing cricket and being a role model and not feeling kind of pressure to get involved all the time and to do stuff, but it's more just kind of just being myself, I guess, in cricket, which is, for me, that feels like nothing, but hopefully it does have a little bit of an impact. And where I can, if I can go into a session or a Zoom call, etc., I'd love to help wherever I can. And hopefully if I can get one girl or one boy to take up cricket or to enjoy it or get an opportunity, I'd love that.
And I'm not sure if you know this, but you and Ebony both hail from Lambeth. So you got that nice little Lambeth connection. And Lambeth has also been host to some other male cricketers who have made it, such as Laurie Evans and Tim Murtagh, who plays for Ireland. So, Lambeth isn't doing too badly. Is there ever a moment where you're struggling that you've turned to Ebony for advice? And if so, what kind of advice does she give?
Yeah, I didn't know that about Lambeth. Interesting, very interesting. But to be honest, I've not worked too kind of closely with her in a cricketing environment, but it's just nice to have her around at the KS and the Stars and have her presence there, because she's obviously achieved so much and has a big influence on the girls and really fights for kind of the women at Surrey and in that kind of capacity, to have her at the games and to have her, like, one of the funniest people I've ever met. I don't know if you saw it, but I think Lanks played Stars at Old Trafford. I think Lizelle Lee hit this massive 6, went over the boundary, and Ebbs went to catch it, fell over a duffel bag and literally just stacked it. And it was on TV as well. And the whole dugout was like in absolute stitches. And it was like one of the funniest things ever. But I just love the way that she kind of just grabs, every opportunity she has, and is just really full of life and such a positive person. So I think the way that she is around the group and her personality, I just love that about her. And hopefully I hope that I can take something from her and use that in my life as well, because I do think I need a bit more of Ebbs's dancing and smiling in my life. So it's just really, really nice to have her around when I have done, and hopefully I will see her a bit more in the future.
Definitely think it's time for Ebony to get her own stand at Surrey. If any of the CEOs at Surrey are listening, we suggested it first.
Yeah, definitely. You want to see the Ebony Ravenbrent stand for sure.
I mean, we've got Alex Stewart. We might as well, because I'm fairly certain all the stands at Surrey are all men. So we need a bit of diversity.
We do.
And there's no one better than Ebony.
That would be definitely the party stand for sure. Get the music on, the dancing going.
I can literally imagine like full on drummers and like full on like carnival vibe, beer snakes.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, my mind's gone to there now. I'm like, can I go to that party? But bringing it back to you, honestly, Alex has just built up the hype there. But just going back to you about the Women's County Championship back in 2019, hitting 2 centuries and leading run scorer with 451 runs. So obviously that was an amazing season, and COVID obviously didn't allow to continue that in 2020. But can you remember much from that season, and do you think that helped your case to get back into that England squad?
Yeah, definitely. I think that was my last season playing for Middlesex, and on my mind was just I want to kind of score as many runs as possible so that they can't not pick me, I guess. That was my mindset going into it. So I was just determined to just kind of win games for the team, and if I was there at the end of the innings where I'd batted for a long time, I knew that would hopefully contribute towards that. And it definitely helped me, because it just, being able to just be in the middle for a long time, it it's invaluable really, in game time, and all those kind of experiences are what helps you in your career. So yeah, it definitely was a good season for me, and one that was, I suppose, nice to finish my short time at Middlesex. But yeah, no, it was a good season.
And then I guess in contrast, that year you also signed for Lancashire Thunder, and obviously we didn't have the best KSL kind of campaign, did they? I don't think they won a game, did they?
No, that was, yeah, the KSL 2019 was probably one of the hardest 6 weeks I've ever experienced in my life. Cricket, non-cricket. It was just, yeah, it was very tough. Just, we didn't win, we drew one game, didn't win a game. I think my high score was probably about 28, batting at 3, which obviously is not very good. I think, yeah, we just couldn't get off to a good start, and we just definitely just lost our momentum going through it. But I think it's so hard once you don't have that momentum to just get back going and really try and win. I think in those kind of competition, it's all about momentum, and it's all about, if you get a couple of wins and you get a few close ones in, you think, oh, right, we can do this. We just never seem to have that opportunity. I think the game that we actually drew, that was kind of like the 5th game in, and we were like, right, if we win this one, this is it. Like, then we're going to start going. And we drew it, and I think everyone was kind of like, oh, I can't even get over the line. And it was just, yeah, it was tough. I found it really, really tough. But I do think coming out of it has made me definitely a better player, because I went away and I worked on the things that I didn't do in that KSL, and my mindset got stronger. I worked with a lot of players in that team. We tried to hustle together to get a win on the board, and we had to really come together and support each other. And I think even that really helps. And it was a really hard experience at the time, but I think the earlier you can have that experience, the easier it becomes, because if it comes around again, hopefully I'll have a better way of dealing with it. So just trying to look at it as positively as possible. But yeah,
completely appreciate that, because that's such a good answer as well, and it's really good to hear that you've got something out of it and it wasn't all just negative and, oh my god, I hate cricket. Like, flipping it round to the positives is obviously so needed. But in contrast, again, you were a KSL champion in 2018 with the Surrey Stars.
Yeah, and again, that was probably like the best season I've ever had, which is a really big contrast. But yeah, the Surrey Stars that season was actually kind of a weird one, because we didn't get off to the best start in that season whatsoever. I think we lost our first 3 or 4 games, or 1-1 or something. And then we kind of had a few days off. And we were like, right, guys, like, not at the best start. Let's just all go away for 3 days, have a bit of a rest, come back together. And I think that Lancs game that I said that everything fell over, that was the game where we just kind of fired. And from there, the momentum just with us and carried through. I think it helped us actually playing in the semi-final on finals day, because you kind of play a game, you're getting buzzed. We won it. We were kind of all ready to go. And then the second game, Lizelle obviously batted out of her skin, got an amazing 100, and it really set us up to win. And I think it really showed us that working hard through a little bit of a tough patch, coming together, working as a team, just got us to the final. And yeah, it was just amazing to win the competition and to share it with a team which had been through so much and been together 3 years already. It was quality. I couldn't have asked for anything better, really.
And I guess off of the back of that year was when you made your England debut at that World Cup. So the KSL must hold really important memories for you.
Yeah, definitely. And I was actually just talking to Fran Wilson about it today, about how kind of those experiences in the KSL really help you going into international cricket. And it's just little things, maybe like playing on TV or playing with a bit of a bigger crowd, or batting against international bowlers that you might not face before, and almost proving to yourself that you can do it. And yeah, so 2018 was probably one of the best years that I've had so far in my life, just because we obviously won the KSL, made my England debut in the World Cup, and it was just a really, really special year for me, that one.
Who was your greatest inspiration in the KSL when it comes to overseas? Who did you enjoy playing with the most?
Yeah, we had, to be fair, a few different overseas, but we had Danae and Cappy quite regularly in our team, who are obviously really amazing players. And off the pitch, it's obviously, like I said before, it's nice to meet people from different backgrounds, different countries, different ages, and to get to know them. I think because they came back year after year, we really got to know them quite well. And I found Danae really helpful, especially with my bowling, and obviously being a leg spinner as well. And she was really, really good and helped me in the nets and was supportive and gave me a few little nice comments to kind of help me with. And yeah, just being able to play with them, some world-class players, it's a good experience in itself. But yeah, like I say, I just love the kind of connections and friendships that you make with a lot of different people in cricket.
Shifting to 2020, you played in the series against the West Indies, which England ended up winning 5-0. What was it like to play in that series, considering it was in a bubble?
Yeah, it was one of the weirdest experiences I've ever had, but it was a good experience. I think we had a couple of little bubbles going into it, so it wasn't as much of a shock. But I think because all the girls got on so well, it was made that quite easy that we could, we were obviously seeing each other every single day. It's almost like you kind of wake up out of your bed, open the curtain, it's like the cricket ground. Like you'd go down to breakfast, past the cricket ground. It's like the breakfast that you eat is overlooking the cricket ground. It's like there is no escaping kind of cricket in any sense. So the fact that we all get on really well really helps that, because otherwise, you just be kind of going crazy. And I think just obviously towards the end, it was, it is a bit intense that you always have that environment around. But I think obviously it helped that we were winning, we were doing well, so we could celebrate those wins, celebrate the good performances, and just try and lighten it up off the pitch, I guess. And we had a few film nights as a team, played ping pong, played on a little basketball machine. It's just trying to find everything we can to keep ourselves entertained and almost sane, really, because it's such a different experience to anything that we had before. But yeah, I think even though it got a bit stressful towards the end, I think it was a really good experience to be a part of, and to, something, not everyone said they could be in a bubble, so take the positives from it.
We talked to Sue Redfern about this, and it was the match where everything just kept getting sent up to Sue. I think there are about 17 decisions in total that ended up going to her. What's it like to play in a game like that? Like how do you react when everything keeps getting sent upstairs?
Yeah, I remember that. I was on the bench that game, but I do remember, like, in the stands, like, oh, again, like, not again. But yeah, I don't know, like, it's like, I think it's, good that now we do have reviews in quite a lot of games, because it's only just recently been that we've been able to do that. So I think it's good that we can do it now, and it kind of does like jolt the play a little bit. So like, I suppose you can get a bit of momentum. It's like, oh, decision goes upstairs, wait around a bit, decision goes upstairs, but then I don't know, I guess at least we can do it now, and we can have the decisions kind of rectified. But yeah, I did find it really funny that like literally like every over was like another one, like run out, like everything was going upstairs. But busy game for Sue, that one for sure.
Something that's been talked about a fair bit in the media is about where you should bat in the order. Do you think you should be given more game time and time in the middle, or are you just happy to bat wherever?
Yeah, I think I'm just really happy to be in and around the squad. And obviously I'm batting, I've batted 6 and 7 when I've played so far, and one game in New Zealand I batted 4 when Trev didn't play. But I think, I'm just grateful to be part of the squad, and that's a good experience. But definitely my goal for the future is I want to, kind of bat in the top 4 for England, and that's what I'm kind of really working towards. And, hopefully later down the line in my career, that is something that I go on to achieve. But I think, the batting order at the minute is full of world-class batters. Some of the best batters in the world are in our top 5. So it's definitely a hard squad to break into in that sense. But I'm just trying to learn as much as I can and take as much from it. And hopefully if the opportunity comes, I'm in the best place to do a job to win a game for England. And if not, I'll just keep being part of the squad and learning and enjoying it.
Just on the nickname Trev for Heather the Night, why is Heather called Trev, and who came up with it?
Yeah, it's a great question, because I was actually tweeting about this the other day. I actually don't know. I'm sure I've heard the story before. Like, I've definitely heard the story before, but like, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. I have to find out. I have to come back to you on that one. Heather, if you're listening, let me know why her name's Trev. I'll ask her tomorrow at training.
Moving across to New Zealand as well, what was your favourite part? Because I saw there was so much kind of tourism that you girls did as well. Whilst I was locked down here, seeing all of your Instagram posts with beautiful mountains and lakes and stuff. And what was the highlight there?
I know, honestly, I felt guilty about that, because I was thinking, we're getting to do all this stuff and everyone's in England. But yeah, it was an amazing country. I'd never been before, my first time. I've always wanted to go to New Zealand and Australia and that part of the world. But yeah, there's some beautiful parts. Queenstown in particular is by the kind of, like, got a lake running through it and mountains, and it's a really, really cool place. And I think because it's quite touristy normally and very busy, in COVID times they obviously haven't got the tourists, so we got to see it kind of at its most kind of like natural and like not so busy. So it's actually really, really nice to have that experience. And yeah, I think we did have a few nice days off where we could go and do activities, and obviously with the COVID situation definitely made the most of that, which was nice. But yeah, Queenstown definitely stuck out to me. But there's a lot of really cool places in New Zealand.
And it was a bit of a shame as well because they didn't quite put on much of a performance. It was very dominated by yourself. So how did you find it? Because it was a bit of a whitewash, wasn't it?
It was a strong series for us, definitely. And we definitely, we did really, really well that series. But I think, it's just, I suppose, not taking for granted those wins. And even if we did win by quite a big margin, it just, keep winning. And it's just kind of, it's almost like a habit, I guess. And just to really make sure you seal the wins, and it only benefits you later down the line because you've got kind of that knowledge of winning games and how to win games, I guess.
And then obviously for 2021, the 100, how excited are you?
So excited. I'm at the Southern Brave for the 100 this year, which is different because I've never been in a kind of Southampton-y based team, but I'm really looking forward to it. Playing with like Danny and Anya, who I really get on with, and I think it's going to be really good. And working with Charlotte Edwards, who, I think it's going to be a really good experience. She's obviously got so much knowledge, and I think she's done a really good job at the Vipers so far and seems to run a really, really good team environment. So I think, that's definitely something I'm looking forward to. And it will be different, but I think it's really going to push the women's game forward and really like show the world what us women cricketers can do.
And you've got Stephanie Taylor as well, so looking forward to playing with her.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. I think every time I play against her, she just whacks like loads of sixes, and it's just always fireworks. So to actually be on her team this time will be great because we don't have to worry about her coming in and smashing it. So I think that'll be really cool. And the girls that have played with her before have said, what a great team member she is, and she's a lot of fun. So definitely looking forward to that as well.
And then thinking about New Zealand as well, Amelia Kerr, she was decent for New Zealand, wasn't she?
Yeah, I think she did really, really well. She obviously is really experienced bowler at such a young age, and also very, very good with the bat. So I think it's a really good signing for us, and I look forward to working with her and getting to know her as a person as well, because she seems like such a lovely person.
And we've also got, so I've just got the England fixtures in front of me now, so hopefully we'll get the red ball in. Obviously scenes in India at the moment are catastrophic, to be polite, isn't it? It's harrowing, it's so horrible, but hopefully things get better there, the situation, and hopefully you'll be having a red ball series against them. So is that where you see yourself playing? Do you see yourself as a red ball player?
I think I've not got too much experience playing red ball cricket so far, really. I've played before in kind of warm-up 3-day games, and we've got another one next week, which is kind of England versus England Academy, kind of similar to what we've been playing. But hopefully like in the future, I definitely want to play test matches for England and develop my game in that way. I don't think I have as much experience now, but hopefully the more I play it and the more opportunities I get, then I can develop that side of my game and hopefully bat in a test match for England, which would be incredible. And it's an amazing opportunity to kind of get to play that side of the game when we obviously play a lot of white ball cricket. So even the 3-day game next week, I'm really looking forward to just having a different experience, playing in whites, having a lot of good banter on the pitch with our teammates and stuff. So I'm sure it'll be good fun.
Yeah, it must be strange going from all of that one day kind of stuff to then spending 3 days together playing like 90 odd overs a day.
It's obviously such a different paced game, and it's going to be different to be in that setting. We've had a few red ball nets recently just to kind of get used to playing with the red and the style that you play, but I suppose there are a lot of transferable things between the two, and it's not too different. And I don't want to get carried away with playing too differently and just try and defend everything. Still want to kind of have like the intent to score and play my shots and things, but it's just nice to have the experience, and it's kind of almost every test match you play is almost like historical because it's so rare. And hopefully in the future maybe test match cricket will feature more often in the women's game. You never know, but it's fun to be involved and have the experiences.
What are you looking forward to in 2021? What's your hopes and goals?
I think for me, I'm just obviously going to play a little bit with the Stars and have a bigger role in that, and hopefully be a bit more responsible with the batting and get opportunity there. And also I'm just hoping to be involved with England at some point, and if I get opportunities, just to really take them and enjoy it. That's the main thing. I think, as I was saying before, you just have so many times where you fail and you have bad times, and it is really hard sport to play, but just getting opportunities and enjoying them, and just not putting too much pressure on myself, but just taking each game as it comes and having a good time with some great teammates.
That's a lovely way to end it. So the final bit is just Alex has got like 60 seconds, quick fire questions.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, they're not hard, although Charlotte Edwards did struggle with a couple when we asked her. So I like to start off with a nice one, which is favourite genre of music.
I'm terrible for that because I listen to all sorts. But I'm going to go with a bit of like rappy art, like Drake kind of, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Favourite musician.
Oh, favourite musician? God, I'm terrible. Let's go for, I quite like Ed Sheeran. Does that count as a musician?
A favourite ground you've played at.
Oh, I think the Oval. I think the Oval's a good one. Definitely a good one.
Last film you watched.
Last film. Oh, the Elton John Rocket Man. Watched on Mummy the Night. It was, yeah, very good.
Favourite teammate in the Southeast Stars team.
Oh, that's a toughie. That's a toughie. I reckon Tash Nash should. Yeah, I can't. It's too hard to pick between the two, but Tash Nash is definitely up there for sure.
Hannah's favourite one is favourite sledge that either you've said or you've heard someone say to you.
Oh, this is good actually because I was chatting about this the other day. I used to have like a little sheet when I mean, this is 60 seconds, but it's going over. I used to have a little sheet when I was younger of like all the different like sledges on there. Literally like be at home like learning. Like when I went to the games, I'd be like, oh, she'd be like, send those bells to Wales and all these crappy things. But I think one of the classics is like dot ball's a hot ball, but that is really terrible, isn't it? Looking back, I'm thinking, why would I ever say that? But there we go.
Don't, because I'm actually traumatized by the amount of crap I used to say. Like, we used to have so much fun though. Like, it used to be so funny when you're a teenager and stuff and you're just chatting rubbish. But yeah, it's actually really traumatic thinking about how cringe it is.
It is.
Hannah, would you like to reveal the favourite one you've heard someone relay on the podcast?
Yeah, I need to hear this.
Yeah, so Roberta from Brazil, who I always say that everybody needs to chat to because she's amazing. I don't know if you've seen her much on social. Brazil captain, phenomenal woman, unreal batter as well. She always says something along the lines of as many spots as on a Dalmatian or something. A dot ball like a spots on Dalmatian. I've butchered that, but you get the vibe.
Yeah, I like it. It's different. I've not heard that one before.
Let me relay it in a way that is a little bit easier to understand. So basically, she went to this match and there was an 11-year-old girl, and the 11-year-old girl said to someone, "You've got more dots than a Dalmatian."
Oh, savage. Fair enough. Absolutely savage.
Last TV show you binge watched?
Line of Duty. I heard all the hype about it. I'm on series 5 now, and I've got through it so quick, but it's very good. It's very good.
I won't ruin it for you then.
Yeah, I've heard not very good reviews about the last episode, but I'm powering through.
Hannah, have you got any, perhaps your tea question?
What is your favourite tea item? So thinking about a classic village cricket tea.
Oh, that's a great question. Oh, goodness. I think I just love, okay, when you're younger and, you know, you're not thinking too much about the diet, it's just the cakes. Like, it's just the cakes. I remember at under 11, like all the mums like bring a different item and stuff, and it'd just be like, oh, like I think like a little vanilla sponge with some icing, a few sprinkles. Like, can't get better than that, to be honest.
Well, your Southeast Stars teammate Bryony said a brownie and a pizza slice. So there we go.
There we go. Yeah, to be fair, that sounds great as well, to be honest.
Perfect. Oh, but the final thing is just to get your social details, isn't it, Alex?
Yes. So, Sophia, where can our listeners find you on social media if they want to keep up to date with you, your Southeast Stars journey, and if they just want to have a look at your pics, basically?
Oh, well, if they want to see me, I think my Instagram is at Sophia Dunkley. My Twitter is at Dunkley Sophia. There you go.
And you've got another Insta, haven't you?
Oh yeah, I do have another one called Sophia Ivy Rose. I feel like my Instagram's like really crickety. I was like, sometimes I just want to post like some nice pictures which just aren't of cricket or, you know, just different things. And if you want to see that, yeah, it's called Sophia Ivy Rose. Bit different now. I need to up the followers, to be honest. I need to up the followers, but yeah, it's a good one. So yeah, get on it, guys. Get on it.
Very aesthetic.
Yeah, I need the support really. I need to get it going.
Thank you so much for joining us this evening, and
thanks. It's nice to chat to you guys.
Massive thank you to Sophia for coming on and being a guest on the podcast and talking all things cricket, including Southeast Stars and her excitement for the upcoming 100 competition. And we wish her well for both the Rachel Hayhoe Flint Trophy with the Southeast Stars and with Southern Brave for the 100. It was also great for Sophia to sit down and talk to us about the ACE project and for us to learn a little bit more about how that's helping change the landscape of cricket and making it more diverse. And don't forget to check out her non-cricketing Instagram, which is at Sophia Ivy Rose. And to all our listeners, if you want to keep up to date with everything we're doing, you can follow us on Twitter at WCricketChat and on Instagram at Women's Cricket Chat. And if you want to give us a like on Facebook, we are Women's Cricket Chat. And if you wanted to give our personal Twitters a follow, Hannah is at HannahT1194 and I'm at Alex Jane Pereira. This has been Women's Cricket Chat. Tune in next time.